Red Nation, are we here? The best show for Chicago sports. Oh my God!
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. What's good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up for another episode of The Daily Show. Make sure y'all hit that button. Subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel that's talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Today we got to break down the big picture for this Chicago Bulls team, man. What's the big picture? We're so locked in. What's the big picture? Then we got to talk about, are the Nets who we thought they were? And we got to get into Stephen A. Smith getting got. He's got to relax. And Magic Johnson blames LeBron for the Lakers season? Do you agree? And, of course, we're going to get into what we are looking forward to most in this NFL season. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel that's talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Yeah. How y'all feeling today, man? How are y'all feeling today? How are y'all feeling today? Oh, yeah, Stephen A. got. Stephen A. got. We'll get into that. That's hilarious. I ain't gonna lie to you. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, and you don't feel like waiting, go check out the Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Pat the Designer. Follow the show on Twitter at the WC Breeze. You can also follow me on all social media at Pat the Designer. But you'll see the little you dig from Stephen A. there, man. We want to welcome y'all in to the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live, the daily sports talk show for the Windy City Breeze, man. And I want to calm Bulls Nation down. That's my goal today. Because we got a big game versus Milwaukee tonight, and I want to calm Bulls Nation down. I want to come in here, and I want everybody to leave from here feeling like, woosah. He's right. Oh, we cool. It's okay. Woosah. Yeah, I'm saying shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. We got Baki over in the chat, man. Got Steve-O over in the chat. What's good, y'all? Duntavius over in the chat. Skokes is over in the chat. Torian in the chat. Shout out to y'all, man. The usual suspects. Today was my second day running at 6 o'clock in the morning with the dogs. Why was day 2 so much harder than day 1? Why was day 2 so much more stressful than day 1 was? What was that about? But it got me up and had me thinking this morning because, of course, I got the earbuds in. The only way I'm going to make it through this whole thing is if I'm listening to music. So, of course, I got the earbuds in, right? And I'm listening to this morning's Locked On Bulls, and I'm thinking about how this season is going to break down for us. By the way, check out this morning's Locked On Bulls, man. That's live on YouTube right now. You can also check out the podcast, wherever podcasts are found. But I'm listening back kind of to hear how I'm sounding, what I'm talking about. Am I rambling? How's it going? Yeah, I'm saying the normal stuff. And I'm listening to how it would seem our season has been viewed. You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about it while it's happening, you don't always pull in everything. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason for the listen back. You don't always like retain everything that's coming because you pick a point. I mean, it's a conversation. You pick a point, you try to hear everything, but then when you hit that point, hey, let's have a conversation about this now, right? So when watching it, or when listening to it, I should say, I brought up the point of how Bulls fans have looked at this season. And I want everybody to zoom out with me. Let's all zoom out together. Let's all take a second to understand what is happening in the United Center. DeAndre was good. Let's all take a second to understand what Arturas Karnisovas is building. Let's all take a second to understand where we're coming from and where we're currently at. Because with a win tonight versus the Milwaukee Bucks or a Cleveland Cavaliers loss, the Bulls will avoid the play-in altogether. And that would lock the Bulls in either at 5th or 6th at a minimum. And they will be a legitimate playoff team, a top 6 team this year. As we welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, the man formerly known as Ringo J. Stefan Adon entering the chat. What's good, Steph?
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
How you feeling, my boy?
Straight. I'm straight. I'm straight.
So I want y'all to understand this, right? Because I understand there's a lot of people that might have left during the bad times. You might be back now.
What's up, Brody?
Feeling ready to get in the full conversation, break it down. Listen, this is what the Bulls should be doing, and they're not doing it. But I want y'all to understand where the Bulls were at and where we are now. In 2016, 2017, we had the 3 alphas. We lost in the first round of the Eastern Conference. If Rondo never gets hurt, we might beat the Boston Celtics that year. Doesn't work. 3 alphas fall apart. Bulls finish 8th in the Eastern Conference that season, 41-41. After that, let's blow everything up. After that, let's blow everything up. You're preparing for a tank. The next season, the Bulls finished 13th in the Eastern Conference, 27-55. They come out of that with the 7th pick in the draft. They turned that 7th pick into Kobe White. Right? Or was that Wendell? No, that was Kobe White.
Nah, that was Kobe White.
Because you came into that season getting the pick from Minnesota that was also 7 that you turned into Larry Markkinen. You finished that season 27-55. You did not qualify for the playoffs. The next season,
same 4 quarters for Michael
while
Porter.
adding Larry Markkinen into the mix. No, we got the pick for Lowry in the Jimmy Butler trade, y'all. While adding Lowry into the mix, you draft Kobe White in 2018, 2019. You finish that season 22-60. You did not get better. At this point, you've also fired Fred Hoiberg. Now you've got Jim Boylan in the building. That's a genius move. You finish 13th in the Eastern Conference again. Guess what? You come out of that with the 7th pick in the draft.
What's good, Robert? I'm good. I'm
You
good.
finish the next season while adding all 3 people in. Kobe, Wendell, Lowry. You've got Zach LaVine doing what he's doing. You should essentially have your core right now. Developing. Moving in the right direction. You finish next season higher in the Eastern Conference, 11th, with 22 wins. You did not qualify for the playoffs. Here's where massive change comes in. All-Star game is in Chicago. Michael Reinsdorf sits down with all of the owners that are coming in, gets their opinion on what they think of the Chicago Bulls franchise, finds out that the Bulls are a laughing stock of the league, which I don't know how you didn't notice. I just listed all of this off to you. They fire everyone. Everyone. You bring in Arturas Karnisovas. You finished 22-43 the year before. In one season with Arturas, he brings in Billy Donovan. In the next season, you win 31 games. You still finish 11th in the Eastern Conference, but you increased your win percentage by 9 wins. And if we're being honest about how that season finished, if you remember, when you trade for Vooch and get him in here, the Bulls start to play it better, but Zach LaVine catches COVID. This is when everything starts. Unable to finish the season for you. And then I think when he came back, Vooch ended up having an injury.
Yeah.
In his second season with the Chicago Bulls, Arturas Karnisovas, Mark Eversley, Billy Donovan, and all of these players that they have brought in have one of the best off seasons we've seen. You now sit at 45 wins. You could finish the season with about 48, 49 if you went out, which would be interesting to see. You have a win percentage of 57%. You have a chance to clinch the playoffs tonight, and you're 5th in the Eastern Conference. I understand that this season has had its ups and downs, but let's zoom out together. In 2 years, you went from being a joke to being talked about as a playoff team. Whether you can see it or not, there's improvement. Whether you can't focus in on it or not, there's improvement. Ridiculous improvement. They're moving in the right direction. They may not be moving there at the pace that you would like, but we saw consistent downward trends from the time that we got rid of Fred Hoiberg, Jimmy Butler, and bring in Zach LaVine. You went from 27 wins to 22 wins. You had 22 wins the next season in a shortened COVID season. You actually could have done much worse. In 2019, 2020, no, was there a lockout that year? There was a lockout that year, right?
2019, 2020. No, that was just COVID.
Was that COVID? Was that COVID?
Yeah, no, that was COVID. Ain't nobody get locked up.
Yeah, you might be right. But you went 22-60 the year before. The year after, you went 22-43. Legitimately, I guess you couldn't have done worse, but you wouldn't have been better. And you start to see it moving in the right direction. Sometimes we're too locked in to what's happening on a game by game basis to actually look at where our team is at. Bulls fans, you need to be happy. You need to be excited. The big picture for the Chicago Bulls is we're not going that way. We're going this way. We're moving forward. We're not moving backwards. There's no way you think going into this offseason, coming into next year, that the Bulls are going to get worse.
Ooh.
When is the last time we've been able to say that about a Chicago team? Like, even with the White Sox this year, like, I don't know if they're going to be better, but I know they're not going to be worse. But then again, they got injured, ton of injuries. That's a whole different conversation. But like, I don't know how much improvement we're going to see based on what we saw in the offseason. But now they got playoff experience. Now they have things moving forward. I can't see them going the other direction. There's not many Chicago teams we can say that about. Guess what the Cubs are going to be this year? Worse.
Garbage.
Guess what the Bears might be this year? Surprising as it may be to say, worse.
Some rum bums, scum bums.
Some rum bums, scum bums out here. This is the first team in 6 years we can say is getting better and is showing it consistently.
Hey, Corey, end of the day, I'm a Cubs fan too. We got to be realistic.
Worse.
We suck. We suck. We suck.
And I feel like because like when you're in the trenches, you can't pull yourself out of it, right? You can't, when you're watching game by game, and the way we do, right? The live calling these games, which y'all have to understand is we started live calling these games in 2019.
Hey.
I live called 22 and 43.
5 viewers, dog.
5 viewers in that
5 viewers.
I live
5 viewers, dog. We was in there, dog. We was in there, dog. 5 viewers, dog.
We was in the trenches out here. 2020, 2021, we took a step back. That was probably, hey, listen, that one got stressful. But 31 and 41. Every single game, we're 45 and 33. I am ecstatic with my Bulls team. Has the season finished the way that I want it to? No. But I'm seeing people talking about we failed this season. This is a lost season. Do y'all know where we've been? We were the dumpster. It's not like we were in the dumpster. We were the dumpster. People put their trash in us. Like that's a long way away. So like, I just want people to understand what the big picture is here, that you're moving in the right direction. You're doing things the right way. As the pettiest man in the building is in the chat.
You say you was calling 5 years of that bullshit.
Time out.
Legitimate.
Time out. Before we get started.
What's up?
How we got smoke already?
No smoke.
Oh.
By the way, I'm moving things around, so forgive me.
Everybody that's in this chat, y'all owe PK an apology.
Oh, well, thank you, Rink. Thank you so much, Steph. I appreciate that.
Y'all owe PK an apology. I want the I'm sorry's in the chat right now.
I want the I'm sorry's in the chat.
Yep, y'all do owe me an apology. I told y'all from the first game.
Right now.
Hey, I love that we're doing this now, because usually when he really get into him and dig deep into like why he's trash, that's when he finally comes out of a slump. So we need this at this time. Let's do it.
No. I'm dead serious. Nope. I want the I'm sorry's because y'all been getting on him. And he stood tall on the hill.
Hey, Kobe had a solid week and a half.
He stood tall on the hill.
Kobe had a solid week and a half. Now, you know what? Nah, I'm on Bulls fan side on this, man. What they supposed to say?
Long enough, Pat. Long enough. I just got on.
Hold on. What they supposed to say? We're not supposed to defend our own?
Hey.
We're not supposed to defend our own?
Nah, man. Nah.
We're not supposed to defend our own. You walked out the room. Hey, man. That's our boy. What we not? He really going here.
That man.
He might not know the camera back on. Oh, man. Hey, we really made
my man's apology, man.
Hey, listen. Yeah, it's bad out here. Hey, hey, listen. It's just one of those things where
y'all are horrible.
I got your back here.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. You know what? And I gotta say this, just since we're in this spirit of supporting each other. Miami is number 1, and they are 2 games above the next team. They may actually lead the conference.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, and
hey, after the game, I will say, after the game Vic had the day before in Toronto, if we can get that, I'm absolutely like, I don't know if we're gonna beat the Nets, but we can definitely get.
I'll tell you this right now, and listen, I don't have too much more to say on that topic. It really was just a short. The big picture for the Bulls for me is huge, and we can get into some general NBA with it as well. Yeah. But yet our Bulls are moving in the right direction. Stop, relax, Bulls Nation. Relax.
Absolutely moving in the right direction. I mean, listen, we're not in the play-in game. We
Bro.
are not even. I think we're two games ahead of the 6th seed.
And listen. Even this is the thing, y'all have to understand. 7 and 8 is still the right direction.
Yep.
Like if we were in the play, like the NBA has devalued the 7th and 8th seed by making it a play-in team, and so now in our minds it's like, 7 and 8th, you still kind of trash. Like, no, that's still the right direction. You get to 9 and 10, now you in the regular direction. You know what I'm saying? But hey, listen, people really in here apologizing. Corey said, "I'll be the first to admit I had more faith in Kobe. I owe you an apology, kid."
That's all I'm asking for.
Hey, listen, people are really in here apologizing. Hey, this is the best thing about Bulls Nation, right? We all good today. We cool. We kumbaya. Watch Kobe go for 30. They right back on kid heels.
Oh, he has to go for 30. And I'm going to be honest with you. He needs to go for 30. He needs to go for 30 for the next couple of games. This isn't.
Hey, for the Bulls to do what they need to do, he needs to go for 30 every game of the playoffs.
Like today, he
needs to go for 4 scores. He's won.
Yeah, today he needs to go for 30. Absolutely, go for 30. It's against the Bucks. They gotta go hard. And this is not even about the slander that and it's not even slander. It really isn't. Slander is when you're sitting there saying something that's not true about someone. And you're trying to denigrate their reputation and stuff like that. I've never tried to do that to him. I just stated a pure fact. Compared to the other rookies that came in years after him, he did not have the composure. He did not have the mental fortitude to handle some of those situations. He played very haphazard. That's a maturity thing. I never said he couldn't score. I know he can score. You don't get to the league. It's 400 people in the league. It's 230 million people in the NBA. I mean, in America. You do the math, right? So apparently he can score better than most of the people. 99.9% of America, he can score better than. You know what I'm saying? Like he can score better than 99% of America.
You did say he couldn't. You did say he couldn't cook you though.
I don't think he could cook me.
You did say he couldn't cook you if y'all play one-on-one.
I don't think he could cook. I don't think. Now, do I think I would win? No, he's a professional athlete.
How close we talking? Y'all playing the 15. You're in your prime.
I'm scoring 10 easy.
Oh, 10?
I'm scoring 10. If I lose 15-10 against a professional athlete and I haven't played on a high elite level in like 8 years,
I'm sticking my chest out on that.
No, but it's the reason I'm saying that, like, it's not even about like a one-on-one. He could be a great player though. You know who's a great one-on-one player, but was a trash like on-court player? Tyronn Lue. He even says it. But there's interviews of people saying Tyronn Lue could cook you.
Hold on. Was Tyronn Lue trash though?
He
was a nice player. I don't know where he was drafted, but he wasn't trash.
He was solid.
No, Tyronn Lue said it himself. He wasn't a great on-court player, but he was a good one-on-one player. Like,
what we got on Tyronn Lue, man? I don't want to besmirch my man name out here.
And the thing is too though.
I will say, listen, if I'm Tyronn Lue, the spammers are in the building today. What's going on? If I'm Tyronn Lue, I never would have let that AI clip live on in infamy. Because I absolutely would have said, yeah, he got me with that step over, but y'all ain't see them 3 steals. I got him right before that.
Hey, people don't realize he had a great career. Like that was his.
Tyronn Lue was trash, bro.
Tyronn Lue
hold on. Is that end of career Ty Lue? Hold on. Let me look. He was solid. He was solid.
Decent.
Tyronn was
11 to 13.
No, so here's the thing. Tyronn Lue was one of the best in his city, one of the best in the country at one point.
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking about people who can't hoop. They can hoop, but it's just a difference. There's levels to people who can hoop. There's levels to having, situational awareness. He didn't have it, and he's still kind of struggling with it. I don't know. I don't want to sit there and clown him because you say, well, he's 22. Man, Ja Morant, 22. It's a lot of 22-year-olds who have that ability to affect the game mentally that's just well and above. Good Lord, there's a whole lot of spammers in here.
Hey, man, we got the whatchamacallit in the chat.
The young
The
mods.
moderators.
But
We got the
I
squad in
was,
the building, man. Baki out here. Who else we got in here?
You know who
I
used
was,
to be like that too? Duncan Robinson used to be trash.
Hey, Duncan Robinson.
yeah,
He used to be trash.
Hey, Duncan Robinson kind of going back that direction, bro.
I'm
if we being real.
I'm being real. I'm being real honest.
Hey, they benched him, bro.
I really thought.
Hey, they benched him.
They
said you have a seat.
Coming off. Look,
one of them supposed to come off the bench though.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt because we pay him 70 M's. I didn't know that he was gonna be like that. And look, I was one of the ones. I was giving him excuses. I said, "Yo, he not."
Oh, you ain't been watching Duncan? Hey, Duncan ain't getting picked like that, bro. Duncan down to like 17 minutes a game.
Like I don't know what's going on. Like he just not hitting. He's just not hitting. And Strus is making him Strus is making him expendable. Yeah. Strus is absolutely making him expendable. But one thing that you said about the Bulls that I wanted to get back to real quick. I want everybody in the chat to remember this. The Bulls don't have expectations to win a championship. You know who does and looks like they're faltering a little bit? Philly. You don't want to be Philly right now. Like don't be Philly. Don't be Brooklyn.
You don't want to be the Bulls having to play Philly.
It could be much worse right now.
Philly is 4, Bulls are 5.
I do. I'm okay with that.
I'm not okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not okay playing Philly.
Because that's the one team that I know is probably about as not deep as we are.
They don't need to be deep. They got one guy who's gonna put up 40 a night that we can't stop.
So
we have not stopped.
Who they got that's gonna be able to slow down DeMar? Like legitimately, their best defender right now is Tobias Harris, and they're not even using him.
But look,
Tobias Harris is not gonna get 40 dropped on his head every night.
You saw what Magic said yesterday.
Listen, I don't know, dog. Like if we being real, like Tobias Harris, Tobias Harris,
and I told y'all that. I told y'all
they
got this man sitting corner.
They gonna switch off Tobias Harris and Thibault on Stick and DeMar. They gonna run that cycle because those Thibault against DeMar Stick's good defense. I love DeMar.
Thibault is a clamp.
I've been telling y'all this from the beginning of the season. It's only 2 teams I didn't want to see first round. Philly was one of them.
I said that when they had Andre Drummond.
I've been consistent about that, and that had nothing to do with Andre Drummond for me. I've been consistent about that because matchups matter.
Yeah.
Matchups matter. It does not matter. Michael Jordan himself says it. We could not have matched up against the Houston Rockets. Mm-hmm. He only said it once.
And you're going to have to show me that clip. I ain't never seen that.
Mike said they had nothing for Hakeem.
I mean, who did?
Are you talking about the Bulls?
What if they played the Rockets?
He absolutely stands by that.
Hey, they also had old Clyde Drexler that would have been guarding Mike. They had nothing for Mike.
Oh no, listen, they had nothing for Mike. But on God, like he can't do anything about the fact that Clyde Drexler may not have been Michael Jordan, but he's gonna give you 20 a game. And he did give you 20 a game. So you got 20 a game.
Who they play in the finals? They played Orlando, right?
Houston played
Orlando, right?
The Knicks.
They played the Knicks one. They played Orlando one. Yeah, you gonna get
he dogged Shaq, and Shaq actually got one.
Well, Hakeem dogged. Hey, y'all ever seen that series? Go back and watch that series if you ain't seen that series, bro. Shaq looked bad.
So and here's to put it into context for you. I know Mike had just returned, but Shaq put Mike out the playoffs.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
Nobody talks about that.
They had nothing. They had nothing for Shaq.
Respect on Penny's name too.
No, put some respect on Penny's name because Penny was dropping 20 a game. Go look at those stats. But guess what? So you take that matchup. You got Clyde and a prime Hakeem. They had nothing for him. Matchups matter. We have nothing for Embiid. Vooch is going to be on the island. What is Tristan Thompson going to do? Foul out? That's what he's going to do. He going to come in and foul out.
I mean,
this is the thing though. This is the thing though, right? Like, is there a playoff matchup you feel great about minus maybe the Cavaliers? Like, there's no matchup we could get that I feel great about. Our options are Milwaukee, Philly, Miami, Boston.
I would rather.
We'll take Miami out of it. If we talking first
Miami
round,
ain't gonna fall that far.
I would just say either Boston, Philly, or
and this is the thing, right? This is the thing.
Boston, Philly, or Milwaukee. Because
I'm gonna tell
you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
I do not see the 76ers in the playoffs. Do not want to see the 76ers in the playoffs. They cannot stop Embiid. Can we stop Giannis? Can we stop Tatum? Can we stop Brown?
No.
Well, right now I can say this.
Like it's the playoffs. That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna play tough people.
It's 4 games left in the season for both the Bucks and the Sixers. We play the Bucks and we play the Sixers. Do we play the Sixers too?
What you mean? No, not finishing out the season. No, we played all 4 games, or we played 3 against them. I think.
Who's hold on, I gotta look up this next game because we play the Bucks today.
If the Bucks in Boston,
if the
Bucks in Boston,
we play the Bucks in Boston back to back. So if we get spanked by the Bucks and Philly loses, then we definitely are going to play Philly. But if Philly wins and we beat the Bucks because they're tied right now, then we're going to be looking at a Bucks or Sixers, first round matchup. It's going to be a highly contested matchup. But guess what? We're not prepared to beat the Bucks right now.
Hey,
we're not.
But I'm gonna tell you what.
Hey, Brand said, shout out my little brother. He said, I've been commenting this whole time. Remember, P Kid blocked my other account. Hey, kid, you got to stop blocking people that be here, dog. You definitely did.
Bro. I unblocked them, though.
You ain't unblock them all. No, I don't think you did. Or I got to unblock them.
Yeah, at the time, you had to unblock them because I didn't have I could block. I couldn't unblock.
Hey, I think this is the thing, though. Like, especially with tonight, if you look at how the Bucks play the Bulls, like this in general, like that, they don't really send a double at DeMar because of Drew. Like they'll let like DeMar do what he does, and if he misses shots, he misses shots. But come around that fourth quarter, like Drew, like Drew makes them go. Like Drew is going to dictate everything when it comes to that fourth because it's like, all right, I could just play DeMar 1-on-1, and then let everybody else do what they do. If P. Will like doesn't cut or anything like that, and Kobe White has an off night, this is pretty much gonna be a blowout because I'm not gonna lie to you, they've been ramping up Brooks' minutes, and like right now he's just been shooting.
He's still a problem.
He looked like he's getting back into form. That's all I'm saying.
Still a problem.
So that Bucks matchup, I'm out on that. If it was any first round matchup that I wanted to see, it would pretty much be Boston because they're going to send a double, but it's more so that it's more so of an even matchup because you have Grant Williams and Brandon Boston shooting from those corners. So it's almost a toss up. Like, hey, we just gonna play the percentages, and whoever knocks down shots, that's who's pretty much gonna win.
Man, we moved past this, dog.
No. You owe him an apology.
We moved past it. Listen, I'm not trying to slander the man anymore because it's gonna look real bad on me. I appreciate everybody really seeing, but here's the thing: he's a professional athlete. Do you know he gets paid millions of dollars to do exactly what you just said he needs to do? If I paid you $1 million right now and said, Brand, go work on your game right now,
he hasn't had the opportunity to.
How not?
He hasn't had an off season yet.
Who hasn't
his first off season was COVID, so you couldn't go to the gym. His second off season, he tore his shoulder.
How he can work on his game when everybody else found a way to get to the gym?
What you mean? You couldn't go to the no, he was in his rookie year was the bubble year, bro. His second year was the bubble year.
Second year was a bubble year. And I had people with so this goes to show you how much you really don't, we really don't pay attention.
Hold up.
Even if because you were saying Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony
He got
had
drafted. So he never had he just had his rookie
Cole
camp
Anthony came fresh out of college. Was like, I'm just
dropping
better.
them off.
Cole Anthony came fresh out of college. Was like, hey, I look better on the court than you. No, I'm not trying to hear that, dog. He was taking top 10. He's a top 10 pick. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. I'm sorry. When you're a top 10 pick, you come in you have to be that guy. That's why I'm so hard on P. Will. P. Will has to show me he's trying to be that guy. P. Will gets tick. P. Will gets starter minutes. P. Will has the best situation for someone who's coming in young and needs the opportunity to grow versus everyone else I've picked over him. He has the best situation. He needs to do more because he's a top 10 pick. I don't know why we acting like that don't matter. It freaking matters. Do you realize people trade whole futures for a top 10 pick right now?
Yeah, and most of the time it don't work out. So I mean it might not work, but like most of the time it don't work out. Like
10 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks.
He will?
Yeah, it was on the Bulls Twitter page.
Oh yeah, since he been back, yeah. Hey, listen, Kobe got to be better. That is what it is. So there's no argument for that. I'm not giving you you haven't had the opportunity. Like, listen, not only have you had the opportunity, you've shown me that you can do that, but you have to do it on a consistent basis. And the fact that you're not doing the other things, like I can live with Kobe this is the thing. I can live with people having bad shooting stretches. Steph is having a bad shooting season. Nobody talking about it though. You have bad shooting stretches. What I can't live with is you not doing the other things. You know what Steph Curry does when he has a bad shooting night?
Shoot.
Well, not even that.
He goes shoot.
We gonna move the ball around. We're gonna get you going. Hey, Jordan, we're gonna get you going. Hey, Draymond, kick this mug down. Let's move it. Let's win the game. He still contributes. You have to contribute. You can't shoot 0 for 9 and also give me 3 rebounds and 2 assists. You're 6'5". you can give me 6 rebounds, my boy. Like you have to do something. You can't shoot 0 for 9 and then play terrible defense that night. So
he said we're not about to act like everyone drafted after P. Will are studs. Wasn't Cole Anthony in that draft?
No.
He wasn't in the draft the year before?
No, he was in the draft.
P. Will. That year, literally the only person that's after P. Will that's even remotely worth anything consistently is Isaac Okoro.
He was drafted 6.
Yeah. But even Isaac Okoro is just P. Will. It's just defense. He a clamp. That's it.
All I'm saying is that if P. Will, like I said, if P. Will can turn into Desmond Bain, the Bulls will be straight.
You know what's crazy? I had this thought, and I know it's gonna sound crazy, right?
You know what's crazy if he lead it off like that.
No,
Cole Anthony was in that draft. He was 15th.
Who?
Cole Anthony was in the same draft.
Cole Anthony. Oh, Cole Anthony. I'm thinking of what's his name? Who's they starting dude?
Time out. All right, just because I want to just say this real quick. All right, Ricky, I got you. So Tyrese Maxey is not a good player. Precious is not a good player. Heck, Isaiah Stewart almost fought LeBron. That's a good player to me. Obi Toppin, when he gets minutes, good player.
Cool. That's more of a personal one for you.
Desmond Bain was drafted 30th.
You said what?
Desmond Bain was in that same draft, drafted 30th.
Yeah, I ain't saying they bad.
I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying he said that's
it ain't nobody that I would be like, oh my God, I can't believe we picked P. Will over this guy. Like Cole Anthony is as up and down as Kobe White is.
Hey, Jeffrey, you know who also broke a record? Michael, what was it, NCP? Michael Carter Williams? What was his name?
What record he break?
He had the best. He had the MCW had the best rookie start of all time. He put up.
He had the best. He had the best first game.
Quadruple double.
Yeah, his first game.
Best rookie of all time.
That man rookie season was mid.
His rookie season was mid, but he broke the record. He broke the record.
Hey, that was. You want to talk about a bad draft? That
Didn't
was
he
a
get
bad
Rookie of the Year?
draft, my
I think he
boy.
did get Rookie of the Year. Hold on, I think you tweaking right now.
He won Rookie of the Year.
Oh yeah, I'm about to say he got Rookie of the Year.
Hey, yes, he did. Go look at that draft.
I know that draft was butt. That draft was butt.
Go look at that draft, right?
When was he drafted?
That's 2013 draft, bro. That draft
Oh,
was
no, that was
Time
horrible.
out. Hindsight is 2020.
Hey, that draft was cheeks, bro. Anthony Bennett 1, Victor Oladipo 2,
Hey.
Otto Porter 3,
Otto
Cody
Porter was a
Zeller
decent
4,
player.
Alex Lynn. Bro, there's not a top 10 pick on this list. CJ McCollum, that's it.
CJ
Alex
McCollum.
Lynn is 5, Nerlens Noel 6, 7,
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
They had Vic in that draft.
Ben McLemore 8,
Giannis is in
Kentavious
there.
Caldwell Pope.
Giannis is there. Rudy Gobert is in that draft. Tim Hardaway Jr. is in that draft.
Yeah, they went 27th and 30th. Where is Giannis?
Giannis is 15.
Giannis is 15 and Gobert is 27. You had 2 good players. That draft was cheeks.
You had 3. Rudy Gobert, Giannis, CJ McCollum. Steven Adams went 12. Dennis Schroeder went 17. That's not a bad draft.
Cheeks.
Dennis Schroeder's not cheeks.
You're naming 4 players.
Dennis Schroeder's not cheeks.
Outside of Rudy Gobert and Giannis, you talking about?
Fam, this is your top 10. Anthony Bennett, Oli,
Otto,
Cody Zeller, Alex Lynn, Nerlens Noel, Ben McLemore, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Trey Burke, CJ McCollum. That's
Victor Oladipo was went second. Only reason he fared because he's injured.
Cheeks. Draft is cheeks, bro.
That guy wants him on the bench, because he wants a healthy Ole on the bench.
Hey, listen. You want to know how cheeks that draft was? Let me double check it. There is not one player in the second round that is still in the NBA.
Who said
James Enos is still in the NBA?
Stop it.
Where James Enos?
Enos is still in the NBA, ain't he?
Are you thinking of Enes Kanter?
No, Enos is still in the NBA. He's on Denver.
You talking about James Ennis?
James Ennis. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, there's one.
Yeah, there's one.
Hey, bro. Hey,
that's sad, but yeah,
cheeks.
Alan Crabb just got out the NBA,
bro. There's not. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah, that's tough.
Nah, most of the first round is still in the NBA. Hey, Shabazz Muhammad in this one. Take it back. Oh yeah, we took Tony Snell at 20. How's that going?
Bro, ain't that the draft? Nah, that's the draft that we drafted Shabazz. Ain't that the one we drafted Shabazz Napier? Because they said, bro, well, LeBron wants him. So
no, it wasn't that one. I don't know who the Heat draft that year. Y'all might not have had a pick. Y'all had just got LeBron. Y'all should have had a pick though. Y'all signed him. No, you had the trade for Chris Bosh, right? No, you signed him too. I don't even see y'all with a pick.
Nah, you said 2013, right?
2013.
Nah, it was 2014.
I think the most underrated draft was the one that happened the year after.
2014 NBA draft?
Yep, Joel Embiid.
This is how random this show gets, though.
Hey, dog, it is what it is. I came to see sports talk. This is sports talk.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a slow day. It's a slow day sports-wise.
Hey, Joel Embiid went 3rd. Eric Gordon went 4th. Marcus Smart went 6th. Julius Randle went 7th. Zach went 13th. Nurkic went 16th.
Jokic went 41st.
Jokic went 41st. Clint Capella went 25th. Bogdan.
This is the thing. Muzz got the nerve to try and roast AK.
Bogdan went 27th.
He's found the best player in the NBA 41st. Go find me my Luka.
38th. Jeremy Grant went 39th. Dog, this is a nice draft. Jordan Clarkson went 46th. This is a nice draft. This is a nice draft. A lot of people probably didn't meet their potential yet.
It's a better draft
I mean,
Hey,
every
Bulls
draft
fans, y'all remember this? With the 49th pick when we finally took a second-round pick. We got Cameron Bairstow. All right, let's move on.
Dig, Jaleel
Hey.
Uncle for?
I say the one thing about it though, like I keep saying this question: who do we trade Kobe White for? Here's the problem with this. I want y'all to understand this. His stock is dropping.
Yeah, there's no value.
His stock was highest when I said we should trade him, which is why I said we should trade him, because it was not going to get better than that.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. Like I would rather, because this is the thing, right? That's the last. Y'all realize like we're holding on to the last of Garpax. Like that's the last of Garpax.
Like why would you want to do that outside of Zach LaVine?
Not even Garpax ain't even Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine was a trade. That's the last of Garpax. So like, I'm not even saying like you want to see. To me, it's like see if he shows me something. I'm okay with you playing that game because it's not like you're without draft capital. It's not like you're without talent on your team, and it's the Chicago freaking Bulls. If y'all think we're going into free agency this year and not going to be able to bring people back with a good off season, I mean, like it's the Chicago Bulls. It's not like we out in Portland. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Like this is Chicago, dog. Like we're good and we have an organization that people respect now. When you respect the organization, like people didn't come to Chicago legitimately because of Garpax.
Yeah.
I think that
legitimately because of Gar Forman, there's been multiple people that said I wasn't going to come play under that because I had no faith that they were going to build a winning regime.
That was a fact.
He ain't here. People want to come play for Arturas. You got DeMar DeRozan here. Nikola Vucevic is cool with being here. Even when we got people, y'all realize it would be like you would get people in here, they play here for like 20 games and be like, yeah, I could resign, but I'm cool on that.
I actually believe this too. I believe that's the only reason we didn't trade him, because of injuries. If it wasn't because of injuries, I don't think we would have been in a Bulls jersey after the trade deadline.
Even that,
injuries,
right? Like
injuries. Y'all remember that week he got real quiet. Y'all remember that week? He was real quiet.
Even with that, even with injuries, right? Who else is a scorer? You don't have a scorer.
Nobody.
You don't have another scorer on this team. Your next best scorer is Matt Thomas.
But Vucevic is a scorer.
I'm talking about like your bench scoring. Who's your next bench scorer?
Like I couldn't remember it, but during the Miami game, I think the numbers was like 50.
Who's your next bench scorer? They got to sit down at some point.
Well, Ayo wasn't what Ayo was at the time either. Ayo had main run hit right before All-Star break and after.
Yeah, but you're assuming based on I'm assuming they thinking the same thing based on the fact they've watched years of NBA that at some point he's gonna hit his rookie wall because they just don't play this many games in college.
That's true.
Most of these, so you know what I'm saying? Like you're probably going into the second half of the season thinking like he's gonna drop off. Yeah. He might still be the same dude defensively, but he's gonna drop off. There's nobody. Like you look at this roster. This roster was built for what they did at the beginning of the season. How they were clamping mugs up. That's what it was built for. Injuries took away from the defensive part of this team and the defensive chemistry this team had, and now you also don't have anybody to score for you. So, like, Kobe White was probably going to be here regardless unless you got back a legitimate scorer off of the bench.
Keep telling you.
Like somebody you could bring in and be like, hey, yeah, we're going to sit you down here. We got a pick back and we got somebody that can put up 15 a night.
And that's exactly why I said I love his defense, don't get me wrong. But the exact reason that you just mentioned is why I said I was in on Jeremy Grant. Because we need people who are willing and able to score.
But kid, that's still in your starting lineup. You're not putting Jeremy Grant on the bench.
Here's the thing. There's ways to stagger that lineup. And to be honest with you, the best thing, let's take the Lakers, for example. The best thing they did is run Russ outside of LeBron. Best thing they did was run him off of LeBron.
Well, you don't have a well, no.
No, they had a choice.
It made Russ a worse player, but
when they ran Russ separate from LeBron,
You saying staggered them when they staggered them? Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I thought you were saying playing off of LeBron.
His numbers went up.
Yeah.
His numbers went up.
I put one starter in there with some dudes from the back. Okay.
Look at how we play our offense now. DeMar doesn't play the full time with Zach. When Billy starts staggering that, we saw more production and more scoring, which is why we were a high-powered offense. It's very possible to still work that in there. When you go 100%. For your big 3, big 4 type of lineup, you're going to be light on the bench, which is why I didn't like the Nets. Another good reference. The Nets, when they traded away all those things to get James Harden, they traded away one of the most complete teams they had.
Yeah.
Now with what they got back, if they can be healthy and on the floor, this Nets team was better than any Nets team that had James Harden, KD, and Kyrie, because they have a balance across the board.
Yes.
I think the best way to look at it, if you think about it, is when Chris Paul and James Harden was together, but then Tony kind of ran them and like they'll start the game off and it'll be like, all right, Chris Paul will play 5 minutes. I'm gonna go sit. I'm gonna let James Harden rock with Aaron Gordon, and then after that, I'm gonna put Chris back in, and then they just did that like vice versa. I think that's how like Billy should look at doing it.
See, the problem is like that works for most of the game, right? But when you get in the fourth quarter crunch time, you got to have your guys in there. You have to have Chris Paul on the floor with James Harden. Guess what? That don't work. You have to have Russell Westbrook on the floor with LeBron James Frank Vogel got to the point where he started sitting Russ in the fourth quarter. But you have to have your best lineup on the floor when it's crunch time in the game, because those are the players that are going to give you your best chance.
In the fourth, obviously, but I'm saying like
But that's the most important time. Like if it don't work most of the time, if it don't work when they're together, hey, we need to close this game out. Well, that don't work.
If I could say this, it's gonna take some people off.
Well, sure, I can't say that it was working. Chris just got hurt.
The one thing that I'm going to say that people are not going to agree with is right now, unless Zach commits to not cheating off of that corner 3, because a lot of those quarter 3s are on his assignments. Am I wrong?
No, you're
right about that.
It's a combination of him and DeMar.
He's helping off too much.
It's a combination of him and DeMar. Well, at least this is the thing. At least Zach's helping.
The most
DeMar just there.
He's helping on things that don't affect the game. He's helping to run the double for them just to swing it. And it's like, you're not impacting the game that way. But the most complete player on this team right now is Nikola Vucevic.
Yes.
He does it on both ends.
I think they realize it.
And when you run through him, even if he's having a bad shoot night, it keeps that. And when he keeps him honest, and at the same time, it just allows you to set up. It allows people to be in the proper position. He's the most complete player on this team. It's not one-sided. I know it's hard to say DeMar broke Wilt records and all that stuff like that. But we see where
it's hard to say. You see when DeMar gets his best shots. You see when Zach gets his best looks. You see when Kobe White gets his best looks. When we look at that game versus Bam Adebayo as there's a lot of Bulls fans that look at that game versus Bam as Vooch wasn't being aggressive. He got beat by a bigger big or a better big. No. Vooch was kicking the ball out to open shooters because all they did was clog the paint. Teams are literally saying, prove to us that you'll knock down these 3-pointers. Prove to us that you'll beat us from the 3-point line like you did early in the season. Like you think about it, like the decline the Bulls have had in the second half of the season from the 3-point line, like it's you knew there was going to be a drop-off because Lonzo was shooting 40%, but minus that, they're awful. They went from first in the NBA in 3-point percentage to 23rd. And I think we dropped to 28th after that last game.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking at what the Bulls' problem has become, like I said, you don't have scorers. This team was built to play defense, and they're not playing great defense. So guess what? If you're not scoring and your team is built for defense and you ain't playing great defense, you're going to struggle in that part of the season, guess what we've seen? We've seen them struggle. But again, I'll say this, whether it's Kobe White, whether it's whoever it is, this ain't I get everybody's like, it's a 3-year window. Our team has 3 years until they're going to beat. This ain't a 3-year window.
It was a 2-year window.
It's not that short of a window. If you think that Zach LaVine ain't going to be better playing next to DeMar, he's not learning anything. Like, if you think that, like, this team isn't going to move in the right direction, that AK isn't going to figure it out, like, I'm looking at the Bulls being back and people wanting to play with Zach. Like, people legitimately want to play with Zach.
Mm-hmm.
I think the statement is coming off differently because the window is not predicated on how much the Bulls develop. It's just how much the landscape of the NBA changes.
Yeah.
And the landscape of the NBA has changed so much that we have a good 3 or 4 teams that we know are next up before it's our turn. And I truly believe that.
But here's the
Philly
thing.
doesn't win a championship, that's cool. But you can't tell me the Bucks aren't primed to repeat. You can't tell me the Nets aren't set to at least win one. You can't tell me Phoenix is not set to win one. You can't tell me Boston's not set to win one. Boston has been the next team up in the East for like 10 years. Like, I don't know what the heck is going
Here's
on.
the thing, though.
Miami is set to win one.
I mean, even then,
right there.
though, like, even to take
No,
a step
this
further,
the
though,
thing.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, I'm not even gonna say that we had a shot to win. I didn't know what I was gonna get from Tyler Hero this season. So the fact that he actually stepped up and elevated his game, now we actually do have a shot to win. Because I couldn't have said that last season.
Yeah, it's an ever-changing window. This is this is the thing. A window is based on what happens in the offseason for that year. Legitimately, did y'all see the stat on Rudy Gobert?
I think you're talking about the points and stuff. Yeah.
No. The Rudy Gobert you dig might be real. Rudy Gobert might really not be a part of the Utah Jazz much longer based on how they're utilizing him. He might, like, there's a superstar every year that wants out. Rudy Gobert gets, on average, not 2 assists, 2 passes per game from Donovan Mitchell. 2 passes, not assists. 2 times a game. Donovan Mitchell passes him the ball. Do you think Rudy Gobert is going to want to be there long term? We've already heard there's a rift there. Now, granted, the rift was caused by Rudy Gobert out there passing COVID out like it was cookies. But 2, you want to know what it was last year? 3.5.
That's crazy. He's not even getting
the highest amount of passes ever that Donovan Mitchell has given to Rudy Gobert is 4 per game. Now, this is, of course, an average.
Where did this stat come from? That's an interesting stat. Who first of all, who took the time to look at the games?
StatMuse is killing the game. hey, I clap it up for StatMuse.
Hey, send that to me. I really want to see it.
I clap it up for Stat. Hold on, let me pull it up here. I might be able to get it on their website. I should be able to get it on their website. Bro. When I saw that, I was like, what? Who? What?
I mean, that beef been sitting there for 3 years.
It's Rudy Gobert picture on the start of the thing, too. I went to the website, it's Rudy Gobert picture.
Okay, so are we looking to get Rudy? I mean, AK not done, but they've also said I'm not finna trade Vooch unless I get another All-Star back. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Only way they're getting Rudy is if they're getting rid of Vooch.
No, I don't think that, though. Well, what year is Rudy in his contract? And this is the thing. I'm not saying that the Bulls are getting Rudy Gobert. What I'm saying is that the NBA is an ever-changing landscape where every year. I mean, dog, every single year, we see a superstar say, I don't want to be here no more. Over the last 10 years, how many stars have just been like, yeah, I'm done? Mid-season, preseason, postseason.
Fam, he just got paid.
Like when we're talking about a window, matters based on the landscape of the team.
What do you mean he just got paid? What are we talking about?
So yeah, he just got paid this last season. He got 4 years left on his deal.
Rudy's contract is Rudy's
38,
contract is huge.
38, 41, 43, and 46.
I don't know if we could get him and keep, but we'd have to trade Vooch because we couldn't keep him, pay Lonzo, pay Zach a max, which is going to be 30% of the cap.
You want me to send it to you? I got you.
You would have to move on.
I got his contract here.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying about it is like, you have to understand that a window is based on if somebody wants to be on your team or not. You know what I'm saying? Like Zach LaVine is 26 years old. If we re-sign him to a max, then or a super max, or probably more of a max, he's going to be here for 5 years. That means he's going to be here till he's what, 31?
Yeah.
That means at a minimum you have 5 years to build around Zach LaVine.
There's a difference between how wide the window is for a player to win a championship versus an organization. Zach is going to, hopefully, but I believe Zach is going to end up a champion before it's all said and done.
Yeah.
The window for the Bulls organization is not wide open. Let's not kid ourselves, and let's really back a little bit, because the landscape for a lot of these teams that are developed is pretty much set. James is going to be in Philly for the next 2 years. They figure that out. Okay, that's going to be a problem. Without James Harden, they were a problem for the Bulls, right? They're a problem. The Bucks, they're a problem for anyone. Giannis is practicing walk up off the hezzy 3-point shots. The man is literally getting better every season. Right. And they're not going to let him just walk away. They're going to do whatever they can to stay as competitive as possible, because Milwaukee has been the afterthought of the NBA since Jordan era, when they was winning 50 games, right? Mm-hmm. They're the champs. Phoenix, Chris Paul is going to end up a champion before he retires.
We'll see.
He's going to end up a champion before
we'll see, because we thought for sure he was getting the last season.
I'm going to tell you this right now. There's a legitimate shot, and people ain't paying attention or talking about it because he's just coming back, that first round could really, really go 7.
Wait, 7 for who?
Phoenix. They playing the Clippers in the first round still.
The
Clippers took them to 6 last year with a worse team.
Possibly?
Well, the Clippers are in the play-in. They could end up being the 7th seed.
They could end up being the 7th seed. That's a fact.
We gotta wait till
who's 7 right now?
I believe it's hold on, let me look it up because I don't want to say it.
This is the thing, and Shay, I seen your comment. Because he's saying that Domantas Sabonis is a free agent next offseason.
Wolves
are 7.
Yeah.
The thing, but
they could beat the Wolves.
I don't know, they could.
Here you go right here. Could. I had to do some digging for it. I had to go back. Rudy Gobert averages almost twice more passes than Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell averages to Gobert this season.
Bro, it's
a wild stat.
Hey, and the best part of the stat is that's like per game. So that means y'all ain't swinging the ball at all. Y'all not like we talk about passes, bro. We not talking about like passes that lead to buckets. We're talking about like Gobert's not passing it to Mitchell either. Like,
hey, but look though, You missing it, Pat.
Hey, you want to get down on this ball? You got to go through 4 people.
Hey, nah, dog. Hey, you gotta go listen to that post game though, cause it be, when they lose, it just be the jabs back and forth that be hilarious.
Hey, we gotta block Baki. Baki be sending us all the great stuff, but then
you gotta.
He gonna send us the Chicago Bulls. Say that Zach LaVine is now questionable for tonight's game. Hey, Baki, listen, I kind of need this game, man. I could have lived in ignorance with that one, but thank you for it, though. I'm just joking. Thank you, Joe.
He is questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable for tonight's game. Shout out to Baki, man. Baki,
we lost because it's the same old stuff. They just let
listen, I told y'all they probably gonna sit Muggs in one of these games.
Not the Bucks, though.
I mean, you still trying to not make the play out. I mean, the Cavs are playing the Magic tonight. Like they're religiously getting 50 dropped on them. So,
hey, yeah, Giannis is also questionable. So if Giannis plays, I bet you Zach plays. that's probably what it's based off of. But even with that, I'd rather have Zach in that mug. But I mean, listen.
If Giannis don't play, that means Drew Holiday is about to cook whoever's sticking him. Go look at the tape.
Let's just hope it's not Io again.
Go look at the tape. No, even if it was Zach, he's gonna cook him too.
Like, I mean,
Drew Holiday is
Zach sticking him. I wouldn't want Zach sticking him either. I'd rather have Caruso.
I wouldn't want DeMar sticking him either. That's a shame.
You put Alex Caruso on.
That's a shame. All of our stars, I wouldn't want sticking them. Vooch can't stick him. DeMar can't stick him. Zach can't stick him. God dang it.
Yeah.
I blame Pat.
Don't blame me. Blame Justice Fruit Pies. Hey man, getting into some other NBA topics around the league, man. Appreciate y'all, by the way, for tuning in and rocking with us. If y'all in here, man, we got 80-something people in here, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. So make sure that y'all tune in and rock with us, man. Hit that bell so you know every time we going live. We go live every day from 11 to 1. Question to y'all. Because over the last 5 games, the Brooklyn Nets, or over the last 10 games, I should say, the Brooklyn Nets are 5-5 with some losses versus not only some questionable teams, but playoff level teams.
They got cheated against the Bucks. I don't care what nobody says.
Bro.
They got cheated against the
Bucks. Hey, look.
Nah.
The Bucks.
Can I ask the question before we? Can I ask the question before we get deep into the conversation? Jesus.
I was the same way the Bulls was getting cheated by the refs. I'm telling you right now, Giannis sat there and was like, I'm going to the bucket. Charges from the half line.
He got that block.
His shoulder.
He got that block.
This is
lower his shoulder and lifts Claxton. He hits him so hard that Claxton comes off his feet, and they called a blocking foul. He had position, bro, because he telegraphs it. No, I'm not going. Giannis played better.
Here's the
question: that game into overtime, but they absolutely gave him all them fouls toward the end in overtime, and I hated it. I hated that game for a passion, not because I wanted the Bucks to win or the Nets to win, the Bucks to lose. I wanted a good game. I wanted to see if Giannis was going to absolutely beat KD. I don't think he beat him straight up.
Hey, listen, that's what happens when you win an NBA championship.
Yeah, you right.
That's what happens when you win an NBA. Like, listen, we can complain about Giannis getting them calls all we want. He's the finals MVP. like that's what comes with that territory. But here's the question on the table. Based on games like that and some games versus teams that they absolutely should have clapped. Are the Nets not who we thought they were?
Nah, the Nets are exactly who we thought they are.
Listen.
Coming down this Giannis is a running back. Oh God, he is, dog. He don't do nothing but sit there.
He putting his body into your chest. But the reason I say that, right? The teams that the Nets are going to be matched up, possibly playing against in the play-in, have all beat them. Atlanta, Charlotte, Cleveland, and it's not just one game. It's not just without Kevin Durant. It's not just without Kyrie Irving. Like, it's with both of them on the floor. All 3 of these teams here.
The problem I have with some of those games, they do have, as Ricky said, Smitty said, some continuity issues, and they're trying to work that out. But they also had a really light roster because in one of those games they only had 7 people available, and the next game they had like 8 people available. And it was just a real spotty roster. And the reason they only had 7 people available in one of those games is because the Bucks injured 2 of them. Whole different storyline. Anyway.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. But looking, I mean, let's just look at start off with Charlotte. In their last game, Brooklyn had everybody available minus Ben Simmons and Joe Harris, who haven't been available the whole time.
Yeah, LaMelo and Miles was cooking that game. I remember
and Charlotte has won the series. And if I'm not mistaken, now the second one, Brooklyn, I believe, had everybody, and Brooklyn did win that game, but you didn't have. But it was a close game, and it was a close game through most of that game. They won 132-121. They pulled away kind of middle of that month, like third quarter, pulled away a little bit, and Charlotte couldn't get it back, but it was never out of reach. And that's who they would play in the first round right now. Or that's who they would play in the first. Like, we legitimately could be talking about a Brooklyn Nets team that might get bounced. I don't expect it.
I'm not upset if they do.
They just don't play great defense.
I don't believe that either, because they ran Philly. They ran Philly. They did a great job against the Bucks.
You believe in Philly a lot more with James Harden than I do.
I don't. I don't
gotta
believe
ask
in
you,
that.
where's this confidence for Philly coming from?
I mean, I believe in them versus us.
Matter. Philly matches up against a lot of good teams. They, even without James Harden, they match up with us really well. They matched up against the Bucks really well. They match up against all the elite teams really well. For some odd reason, the main reason is Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid healthy is a monster, and it's like it's a scary part of it, because like he may be the next, like he does have Hakeem-like movement now. Like he's developing his game at a very, very fast pace. So it's like matchups matter. When you have a big that no one can contain, it opens up shots for everyone else. You don't need a bunch of marquee names around Joel Embiid. You just need people who can play their role and knock down open shots, and he's gonna get them open shots. So based off of that, Philly just matches up well. They're ahead of us, and they almost smoked you. Like, how can we not sit there and appreciate that?
I'm saying like obviously they're a good team, but I just you know me.
I don't know about elite. I think that's the difference. I think
when it comes down to it, because this the thing. I'm not worried about Joel. This my
Joel's gonna do what he gonna do.
James said Joel is my MVP. The last couple of nationally televised games that they had, we seen it. The games was close.
Dog, we say the same thing about DeMar.
Why does this man not have the ball in his hand?
We say the same thing about DeMar and Zach.
Not only
we say
that,
the same thing about DeMar and Bruce.
Now Doc is calling you out because you're not facilitating.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like for them,
but we say that about every team that has high expectations with 2 stars on it that we expect to do well. We always nitpick at something. Like I can say the same thing about Miami. Oh, why the heck is Duncan Robinson falling off a cliff? Why the heck was Tyler Hero so inconsistent?
I don't
like you can nitpick at anything. That doesn't mean they're not elite.
No,
and all the teams in the league that make the playoffs.
I'm not saying that they're not elite, but at the same time, can we all agree? Can we all agree that Joel Embiid has an injury history?
I mean, okay, like that don't play nothing into it.
That
plays nothing into it.
At the same time, you do have to capitalize off of you do got to capitalize off this window. This is the best that he's playing.
He played through a torn meniscus last playoff.
This is the best that he's playing.
It's the best he's playing, but it's the best he's playing. It's the best he's playing, but like I don't take his injury history into account for what he's doing right now. Like he might get hurt in the playoffs. Guess what? Kyrie might get hurt in the playoffs, and they don't even make the playoffs. Like
KD might get hurt while we sit there talking about. KD just came off of Achilles injury. Like
so,
for someone to come off a torn Achilles, he's doing something that's never been seen.
My point
one of them got injury issues.
My point being though is like that they legitimately have a window where it's just like they legit have to win now, like because James Harden was supposed to be next up for.
Well, James Harden 36,
I don't know how
35
many
now, something
seasons.
like that. Like, yeah, that's ship itself. But I'll say this: like, I look at like when I'm looking at Philly, like I don't think Philly can beat any of the teams above them in 7 and 6.
I think Philly can beat Miami.
I don't think Philly could beat Miami in 6.
No, they can't. They can't see.
I think Philly can beat
They
Boston.
legitimately can.
I think Philly can beat Boston.
Because if we get them on transit now, Boston.
I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying they can. It's possible.
I don't
all
think
you gotta do is run them in transition.
I just don't think they deep enough, bro.
Without Robert Williams, how are they gonna stick him?
Nobody's sticking in beat. I don't care who you put on him. We've watched him legitimately have an MVP season. There's nobody in the NBA that can stick in beat.
All right, so matchups, like I said, matchups matter, right? Walk it down with me. Celtics.
James Harden James Harden, Jaylen Brown can stick James Harden and make his life a living hell. 100%.
Okay. But now we still have Thibault and we still have I forget his name.
Maxey, see, this is the thing.
Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is like the Chris Middleton of the whole thing. He's an 18 to 20 point game player.
But
he can go off the 40 on his own at any time.
You are correct.
They have weapons.
But what have they done with him?
You're not using them.
A lot of
Tobias Harris standing in the corner getting active.
A lot of that.
He's not even getting active at this point.
My bad. He's not even.
Tobias Harris can also stick pretty good defense. He's not. I wouldn't say he's the best defender in the league, or even in that conversation.
You got to put him on Tatum. He ain't gonna.
But he has to go on Tatum, and Thibault has to go on Jaylen Brown. The Sixers can match up with them easier from a defensive standpoint than the Celtics can match up with Philly because they have no one to contain Embiid. Yeah. So at that point, you can say Tatum is locking up this person, Jaylen Brown is locking up this person. Who locks up Embiid? Nobody. On the flip side, can Thibault make Jaylen Brown's life harder? Yes. Can Harris makes Tatum's life harder? Yes.
No.
Who the heck are they going to expect from a Joel Embiid?
Tobias Harris.
But they bought
Tobias Harris cannot make Jason Tatum's life harder. Jason Tatum will cook Tobias Harris.
I gotta see it. I don't believe it.
7 games straight.
I gotta see it because I don't believe it. I don't believe
it. Nah.
I don't believe it. What is their season matchup? They've played several times this season. What's their season matchup?
Hey, listen, they both Jokic and Embiid cancel each other out. And the dope thing about Embiid is because he said on the JJ championship. I can tell as soon as I get the ball in the post, I can tell if I'm going to the line or not just by your hand placement. Like I don't like that. Like he said, I don't even have to do that. I could tell if I'm going to the line just by your hand placement alone. Like he's going to get almost 20 points off free throws, even if he's having a bad shooting night. He said it.
He's gonna get 20 points off free throw. Who you talking about?
Joel.
Oh, Joel Embiid. Yeah, no, Joel.
Now,
Joel. Hey, it is weird, bro. It is weird that Joel is the one player. Like, don't you feel like Joel is the one big man that get all the calls that they supposed to get? I feel like Joel is.
Yeah, because Jokic don't even get.
I feel like Joel is the one big man to get all the calls he's supposed to get. Like Jokic don't get them. Shaq never got them. You know what I'm saying? Like them calls where it's like, hey, I'm down here and getting beat the heck up. What's going on with that?
Hey, and that's the thing. He's so cold with it. He was like,
the Celtics played.
Even if I don't get the call, I'm gonna just look at the ref.
They blew out.
Then the next possession down,
they blew them out.
Call, and I'm gonna do the same exact move, and then I'm gonna go get the call. You have no choice but to call it. So I'm going to shoot 10 plus free throws.
Yeah. If they give it to him, yeah, you're right.
Like he a dog. He a dog.
They blew them out. There was no James Harden. There was. This must have been right after. Yeah, this is February. This is after the trade. This is right after the trade.
Hey, fam, if you look at these stats, how did they blow these mugs out? Last time Boston played Philly. No, Boston. Oh, Boston blew out Philly, you were saying.
Yeah, it was right after the trade. The month before, January 14th, I know rosters are a little different, but Philly won by 12. And they won by 12 with role players doing what they do. Seth Curry is not a better player than James Harden. He's definitely a liability on defense.
But Seth Curry your team was deeper then. You didn't have to do nearly as much. Like a deeper team going into the playoffs would have made Philly. Like I was more worried about Philly with Andre Drummond, with Seth Curry, with who else they traded? They moved one more person in that. Those were the two big names, but Ben Simmons, but he was never coming back. I was more worried about them with that roster because it wasn't based on, hey, if James gets a bucket, we do really well. It was based on Seth, give me 11. Tobias, give me 15 to 18. Maxey, give me 15 to 18. Joel, you cook. We all gonna play defense together. We all gonna do this thing right. Like now, I mean, like in the last game that they played, like you said, very different lineups. But I mean, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both had 25 plus. 28, 12, and 6, 29, 8, and 3. I remember that game too. Embiid had an awful game that day.
Yeah, he only played half the game.
Yeah, he had an awful game.
He was getting blown out. They took him out.
They pulled that mug quick.
They don't need to keep him in there. We ain't winning this game. All right.
They pulled that mug quick. Get him about it.
So here's what I want people to look at. Even when Joel goes off for 44 and 17 like he did against the Cavs, which I'm not expecting him to do every night, James Harden had 21, 10, and 10. Maxey had 11. Harris had 11. Like, people were getting active. Go to the game before. Like, they haven't jailed just yet, but when they jail, that team is a lot more dangerous than we giving them credit for. Heck, they beat the Hornets by 30.
But are you gonna jail in the playoffs?
Dog, they beat the Hornets by 30. They had 7 people in double digits.
Yeah, that's why we're here on this question with the Nets. Because Philly's beating them by 30, and the Nets are losing by how much?
But now here's the thing.
Charlotte, they got beat pretty bad to Charlotte.
Philly don't match up with the Nets. Matchup matters. Philly don't match up with the Nets. Maxey can't stick Kyrie. It's freaking Kyrie. The league can't stick Kyrie.
Yeah, but
the league can't stick.
But we're to the point where we're asking, are they gonna get out the plane?
Yes.
Hey, a quick side note though. Did you see the little Kyrie dribble move piano handle thing?
Yeah, that's tough. It's a lot harder than you give credit.
Man,
that's hard.
Like
to dribble like that with control with just your fingertips. Yeah, it's a little tough.
I don't care how many games that man plays. Appreciate him right here, please.
I know. I love Kyrie on the court. Kyrie off the court is crazy, but y'all know, y'all heard me yesterday. I don't really care what you do off the court.
Hey,
crazy. Unless what you're doing off the court affects you on the court. Sometimes it does with Kyrie. But I mean, I look at the Nets. I mean, listen, I don't think that if in my mind, right? No, they gonna get out the play and they're gonna be fine. But in a game where Kevin Durant dropped 55, they lost by 9.
At this point, the Nets are definitely in the play-in game.
They can't get out. They're in it no matter what.
They're in it. So at this point, you know what I would do? I'd rest KD and Kyrie. It don't matter. It don't matter. I'd rest them. I rest them to the play-in game.
Well, you got to think, is rest more important than rhythm?
I'd rest them until the game before the play-in game. How about that?
Even that, you know what I'm saying? Like you still got to get yourself in the rhythm. Like I get it, like they professionals and all that. Like you would hope that they're good enough to go in rhythm, but like, are you taking a chance on rest over rhythm? We've seen rest hurt teams in the playoffs. We've seen rest where, hey, we're gonna rest you here, and then you come out that first game and you get your head kicked in. They don't have that chance. They don't have that opportunity to have that
championship?
first game to get your head kicked in.
Do we think they're going to win the championship this season? I say no. I say they make a strong playoff run, but I don't think with all the stuff that's happened that this is their season. I think everything they set
that's a
themselves up
recent
for next
change,
season.
though. Me and you was talking all season about these mugs being like that's your champion.
I don't think they win it without Ben. And Ramona said he's not even running. So
if he's not going to play, they're not going to win right now.
He's not
okay with that.
Like he makes their defense so much better.
That's a whole different conversation. Like, listen, you still running out there with a starting lineup of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. Is it Patty Mills or is Seth Curry in the starting lineup?
Neither one of them.
Seth Curry.
Oh yeah,
Seth Curry. Seth Curry was in the starting lineup. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond. And I don't know who they running it. Claxton at the 4, or you know what I'm saying? Like that should be good enough to win.
Don't get me wrong.
That's a squad, bro. And this the thing. You got 3 role players that just do their job really well, with 2 top 10 players in the NBA when they both on the court. Like you should be talking about them for a championship.
But the thing
we're realistically you have the best player in the NBA on your team. You do.
The way the season shaped up for him, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't expect when I was emphatic about them making a long run. I didn't expect KD to be down with an MCL sprain. I look at that. I look at the fact that it's on the same leg that he had surgery on. That bothers me. I don't see even if they make a deep playoff run, I'm more worried about what happens then. You know, like I'm thinking about that because the workload is going to be so much because they're got to make up for that missing piece. Ben Simmons is a big piece on the defensive and board rebound. Like next season, I got them coming out the East next season. I really do.
Oh, they're gonna do something with those 2 picks. I got
them coming out next season. That's why I keep saying this window that the Bulls are in. No, that's a real window, and it's a small window because the Nets are geared up to re-sign Kyrie, re-sign KD, and they ain't slowed down yet. It's just been a weird season. I'm sorry. That window is
the thing too.
I mean, this the thing, though, dog. That for them,
Kyrie. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but you also gotta remember, like these ones giving up close to 200 a game. Like they be at 150. The opponents be at 150.
They put up 152. So I mean, it's like
that's what I'm saying. We're talking about Kevin Durant as if he didn't just drop 55.
Nah,
he's dead. You know what I'm saying? Like we're saying like Kyrie in that same game didn't also drop 31. And that they didn't get contributions from the rest of the team was cheats. But
this matters to me.
Nash only played with his full roster for 7 games.
On his bench, you got Mike D'Antoni. Mike is getting close to play. Mike D'Antoni.
None of that stuff matters when it comes down to continuity and stuff like that. That matters.
They haven't had more injuries than the Chicago Bulls, and we sit in 5th.
I'm not.
And they ended the season. They end of the season has been way easier than ours.
The Bulls have maintained a better roster than the Nets for most of the season due to Kyrie's inactivity and things before then. I can't agree with that. The only thing that stands out, because you have 2 all-stars on that team.
You got 2 all-stars on this team.
One was ineligible half the season. Hold on. One was ineligible for most of the season.
Right. And when he came back, the Nets were still in a playoff position. And then they went out west, and you said they were going to win most of those games, and they got smoked.
They got while having that. KD got injured. KD got injured, and they got smoked. That's absolutely right. But you're working in a player who was ineligible half the season and stuff like that. Context matters, Pat. Like, you don't have to agree. I agree. It is what it is.
I agree that
but
context
the Bulls
matters,
have a better roster on the floor than on more consistent basis than the Nets did. That's just a pure fact. You don't have to like it, but that's a fact. Like, you can look at
Bulls have had a better roster on the floor more times
and more consistently this season than the Nets had.
The Bulls haven't even had their starting roster most of this season.
Okay, again, if you have Vooch, Zach, and DeMar available for more than 40 games, which we did, you had a better product on the floor than the Nets did all season. You did.
I gotta go with Kid on this one. He got you, bro. He got you.
So Kevin Durant not better than all of them, though?
No, he's not better than three separate All-Stars. He's not better than 3 separate All-Stars. Kevin Durant has he plays an important role for that team. He's one of the best players in the NBA.
I'm just saying, because there's specific stretches we can look at to where the Nets got out of this. There's specific stretches we can look at where the Bulls have gotten out of this.
We can.
In those specific stretches, they had those players on the floor.
What's your argument, Pat? Because I mean, at this point,
my argument is that we are talking about this Nets team possibly not getting out of the playoffs, or not getting into the playoffs, not getting out of the play-in, and they still got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
So were they.
Yeah, because the second half of the season, you had that.
Quit this crap about we got hit with COVID.
I ain't worried about Shea. We talking. I ain't worried about Shea. We talking.
Even with me and you, the same.
We're talking about this team not getting out of the play-in game.
You think they're not getting in the play-in game? I think they are. I don't think they're going to win a championship.
Kid, I will say,
but
I don't know if they're getting out of the
with this
play-in game,
team,
dog.
with this team, you think they're not going to win a championship? That's a problem.
With this season right now, I don't think they're going to win a championship in this season right now. No, I don't think they'll win.
That's a problem.
If you say so.
You have legitimately 2 of the best players in the NBA.
But you've had one of the rockiest starts in NBA history to a season. Context.
Wait, time out. Wait. What was a rocky start? Because they
were in first place.
Then there was 3.
If you had sat there and said KD, Kyrie, and James Harden should go further than this, I'd absolutely agree with that. That was a team that we were comparing. They traded away James Harden. Kyrie came back. They now have people they have to work into a system. Context matters.
Did we not say they're better after the trade, though?
They are better. They are better. But
so if we thought James Harden,
you're not going to pigeonhole me. You can't. For health reasons, continuity reasons, I don't see them making a longer run in the playoffs than the Miami Heat, who've been together all season. Then Philly. Well, I think they'll beat Philly, so I'm not going to say that. But the Milwaukee Bucks, I think they can match up really well. It'd be a great series. But if they lose, I'm not sitting there saying, oh, they lost or this is a failed season. I'm not. I'm just being very realistic about it.
I absolutely am. You're 10th. You're 10th. You're 10th. What context matters? I agree, but you're 10th.
Okay. When did they drop to 8th?
Okay.
They dropped to 8th when they had injuries and Kyrie couldn't play most of those games.
Kyrie could play most of those games. That's what I'm saying.
He could not play most of those games when he was injured.
The only game Kyrie could not play while KD was injured was the one where when they were in Toronto.
He could not play most of those games. He played half.
They were on the West Coast trip, kid.
He played half those games.
No, he didn't. He played all those games.
Even if he played the whole thing. I never sat there and said Kyrie can lead them past that. I said Kyrie and KD. No, I never said that.
You said Kyrie would win most of those games on the West Coast trip because you was arguing with Marv about it.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Well, guess what? I was wrong.
Like that's what I'm like. But even that, like, it's not to prove you wrong. It's not none of that. I don't care about that. What I'm saying is they're 10th, and these mugs have played. They've had a better roster. They went on that West Coast trip with this roster. Seth Curry was there putting up numbers. We said that this roster is better than what they had in the building with James Harden, because literally it was James, KD, and Kyrie and a bunch of dudes that was getting active. Blake Griffin was just out there just like, hey, how y'all? Don't worry about it. And we're saying that this team post-trade is better, but now they're 10th in the Eastern Conference. And I have real concerns about them.
Why did they drop to 10th? Like,
why did they drop?
I hear what you're saying, but they dropped to 10th because KD got injured.
And he made up. How long has KD been back? How many games KD been back?
KD been back for a minute.
My
thing is,
because this the thing. KD was here when they were still 8th
when he got injured. From that point forward,
No, they were third.
No.
They were third.
They went from third to eighth. They dropped from a top 4 team to the bottom of the playoffs. What are we talking about? That's a fact. I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth about that. That's a fact.
Nah, that's a fact.
So at this point, what are we talking about? Yeah, they dropped to eighth, and they've been sitting there in this play-in situation. Guess what? Okay. And guess what? They were in that play-in situation, and at the time, Kyrie could only play 4 of the remaining 11 games they had, and they went back and forth about that. So guess what? Context matters.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sit here and say, oh, no. Tell me we would have been 4th if DeMar and Vooch had to play. DeMar and Vooch, again, are still 2 all-stars.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bulls had a better product on the floor, especially when Kevin Durant was injured. That's a fact.
Okay. It has nothing to do with them getting out of the play-in. It has nothing to do with
I'll
this.
be right back.
Hey, listen. You're sitting there arguing that, say you're not getting out of the playoffs. It hasn't happened yet, Pat. They can lose every game right now, and they're going to be in the play-ins. You don't know if they're going to lose.
But kids, can you say that they've played well since they've had their full slate of players down the stretch, and they have had a schedule?
Wrong, I will be wrong. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that KD and Kyrie cannot beat LaMelo Ball and the Hornets in one game for their playoff lives, you'd have to pay me. I don't believe it. So if the question is, can they beat them? I believe the Nets can get past the Hornets, no problem. Can they sit there and make a deep playoff run? That I question now. That's all I'm saying.
By the way, when KD came back on March 3rd, they were 7th. They've dropped to 10th since then.
Okay.
And the reason for saying that is like there's been a lot of drop off since they've had their
and KD
team.
came back, and then at the time, Kyrie couldn't play some of those games too because the mayor was
Kyrie still couldn't play the home games. Yeah, that's a fact.
So guess what? Context still. It don't matter.
Was the team better? Like we saying it like Kevin Durant wasn't in first place.
The team is better if the team is on the floor. The team wasn't on the floor.
Kevin Durant was in first. Was Kevin Durant in first place without Kyrie?
He had James Harden.
James was playing cheats.
James Harden was still giving you the same level of production he's giving you in Philly.
Okay. So
he's still Kyrie's. You're still arguing this thing about them not getting out the play-in. It's like, for one, I think they will. I've answered that already. We can move past that. And why they dropped in full context is because they haven't had their full team on there. You keep saying we said this roster is better. Yes, healthy and on the floor, they're better. Steph Curry has missed games. Kyrie has missed games. Drummond has missed games. They all have missed games. But on the floor,
everybody missed games.
Now you're moving the goalposts again. That you can't do that. The context and why this happened, why they dropped, is because their roster wasn't on the floor.
Let's talk about the teams above them.
Context there.
Let's talk about the teams above them that have beaten them.
Let's talk about the teams.
Has LaMelo Ball missed games?
Did he miss the game that they beat him?
No. But has LaMelo Ball missed games?
Did he miss the game?
I'm asking you about teams that are better than the Nets right now. Have they had players miss games? Has John Collins missed games?
You're sitting there making it's a half-assed argument at this point. You're not going anywhere with it.
It's not. I'm saying
where are we going with it?
What my point is, the question started was, are the Nets who we thought they were? You said yes.
Yes, I do think that they are a better team, healthy right now with this roster than the Bulls. If they roll out here in this play-in with their full roster,
what? It wasn't about the Bulls. I'm just saying, like, the team as a whole.
The team as a whole, if they're healthy and on the floor, has one of the best rosters in the conference. Yes, I believe that. They are still who I believe they are. They haven't been on the floor for a variety of different reasons. And I don't fault teams for injuries. I really don't.
I mean, but we've faulted everybody for injuries.
Who have I faulted? only person that we fault is Anthony Davis for being street clothes. Because he has a long history of being street clothes.
Injuries. We don't get the Lakers credit for going through injuries all season.
Who doesn't?
Nobody does. You know what they say?
We don't give them credit because we have LeBron and Mr. Triple Double.
Heck of a segue. We don't give them credit for that because even Magic Johnson don't give him credit for that. You know what he said? Hey, listen, you should have got DeMar DeRozan there and Buddy Hield, which Buddy Hield, that's an interesting one. Hey, they really holding on to this Buddy Hield thing, by the way.
Bro, because Buddy Hield is one of the best shooters in the league. Y'all sleep on Buddy like.
Yeah,
DeMar
but
Buddy Hield had contracts that were done.
They legitimately have
Russ.
They legitimately have a great shooter on their team, and they don't pass him the ball at all. like remember what was it? What was it? It was free Malik for a minute. It was free Malik for a minute over there. They was like, hey,
the Lakers a pass is because they have 5 Hall of Famers on their team, and 4 of them were available. And we've seen 2 of them carry rosters by themselves. They had their team together. Their coach didn't play their lineups well, and they did not allow Russ to be Russ. We killed them for a completely different reason.
Yeah, but
that's why I keep saying context matters. We kill these things for a different reason. We don't kill. Hey, listen, if Memphis had lost 17 of the last games, it had instead of winning going 17-2 without Ja Morant, if they had lost, we'd sit there and say Ja Morant's not there. We would say that.
Yeah, but we don't say that about the Lakers.
Because LeBron was there. When LeBron wasn't there, I didn't expect them to win.
But
when Russ is not there, I didn't expect them to win.
Russ has missed games. AD has missed the season, dang near.
Like
we don't get him that credit.
You're not making much of an argument.
I'm saying the same thing.
And it's still not much.
Like injuries are part of the season. Injuries are a part of the game. Like, okay, they were injured. They were down. They still, at points in the game, had 2 of the top 10 players in the league with a better team. We don't give the Lakers that pass. We don't give anybody that pass. Especially when LeBron is legitimately one of the best players in the NBA. LeBron don't get that pass.
When LeBron is hurt, he does get that pass.
LeBron don't get the pass.
LeBron's been hurt for 2 games.
He went to Rob and asked Rob, and Rob signed off.
When LeBron gets hurt, he does get the pass. It's just ironically, he doesn't have an MCL sprain. He is doing regular maintenance or something like that. You're comparing an apple to an orange. The situation with LeBron, because ironically, they're both in 10th, 11th place right now. LeBron is from the sheer paper, he's on a team that should have won. He's on a team that should have been better. If you had told me LeBron,
no.
If you had told me LeBron and Russ,
I agree.
No.
He is. No. He is on the team that should have won.
He's on the team that should have.
I agree.
He's on the team that should be in the playoffs. He's
so Kevin Durant.
Okay, okay. I thought
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Right. So if you sat there and said, "Hey, this team is there," but LeBron was hurt but Russ was unavailable half the season. Sure, I can see why they're 10th. Because they don't have much of a roster. If you said LeBron was sitting there in the middle of a run and then got hurt for 10 games, sure, I can see it. But that ain't what happened. That ain't what happened at all.
It's not?
It isn't what happened.
They lost the top 5 power forward in the NBA.
They have 5 Hall of Famers on the team.
Only thing I'll say about that is these ones that won
5 Hall of Famers.
Has Carmelo Anthony been that level of player the last 5 years?
They have not won back-to-back games.
Melo still giving you 17, 15s. He's not playing any different than he played when he was back with Portland. Yes, he's going to make the Hall of Fame, but Melo's been giving you the same kind of production over the last 4 or 5 years. Okay.
The Lakers' issue is not about people on the floor. It's about mismanagement of their roster. And that's a different argument. They still resulted in losses, but it's not the same. It's not the same at all.
Is this Lakers team different if Anthony Davis can play? Do they win more if Anthony Davis can play?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean,
maybe. Maybe. How are you going to play him? Seriously. No, seriously.
Hey,
how are you going
to
okay.
He doesn't play the 5.
He doesn't play the 5. They got rid of all their 5s.
Yeah, he don't
Lisa
play
Leslie gave a great Lisa Leslie spoke on this. Lisa Leslie spoke on this on one of these shows she just did on I Am Athlete. I think she was on I Am
Athlete. Yeah.
She says AD doesn't play. He's a guard who grew to 6'11". He doesn't want to be in the paint. And the team that they had that was really good, they got rid of all the guys who got down there and actually did the dirty work. So they weren't going to win based off of that. They got rid of all the people who were really going to do the dirty work. That's not what AD wants to do. That's not his game.
He's not down low. He's never been down low.
So guess what?
Because he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean,
again,
there's a lot of power forwards that don't go down low.
In full context, the Lakers issue was less about we don't have the talent and more about we don't know how to play the talent, or the talent don't know how to play together. Because there's no way in the world you're going to tell me Russ doesn't know how to play basketball. You can't tell me that.
You never gonna hear me say it.
The sad part about it is they got to get it together because they're bringing the same roster back. So
yeah, I know. I've been saying that forever. Everybody like they gonna move Russ. They gonna trade Russ. There's no way you trading $47 million. You got one player.
You traded for another person for $47 million and sat on the bench. You traded from John Wall.
Yeah, we'll see. I doubt it.
I
doubt it. You gonna bring a whole new head coach in here and try and tell him?
It's already been rumored that that's what they wanted. They wanted John Wall. They got mad when they didn't pull the trigger. Guess what? You trade him for John Wall.
You know what, P-Kid? Cody Rose was a rumor until we actually saw it.
Yeah.
You know.
And that was dope. I watched that again last night. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, you know that was dope.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey.
Wrestling low key is starting to get me back in. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, Cody Rhodes is a rumor until he popped up to fight himself.
Yeah, wrestling.
I don't even know who he is. I don't know who he is. Who is Cody Rhodes?
WWE. It's an acquired taste.
I've heard the name before.
I will say, the amount of grown, like you never think about it, right? Like in your mind, you're like, man, like why would a grown man ever watch WWE? And then you think about it, and you're like, there's nothing but adults at these events across the country. Like it's all different.
Hey, Will.
Now this is not to come off as like a pervert or anything, like, but I'm really impressed as to like the women's matches, just simply because. Like you don't really get to see physically imposing women like that. Like those are these women are like
check out. Hey, Bianca out here different.
Hey, Bianca,
Bianca lifting people off of their feet and holding them up like it's a superhero movie.
Hey, and orchestrated or not, she got to have the strength to pick that person up.
Hey, it's crazy.
Like, to me, that's for you to have that. I think that's a different level of athleticism. Like I would love to see it.
It's all about, they gotta have that kind of timing because it's absolutely like they have absolutely said like CM Punk said like a couple years back, like him and Ryback had a match and he was supposed to pick him. Ryback was supposed to pick him up, drop him on the announce table so like it could collapse, and he ended up dropping him on his head on the ground. He was like, yo, I can't work with him no more. He went from Ryback went from having the title shot. He got to go back to the line.
Oh yeah, because you gotta know what you're doing when you hear them mugs. Like they had a thing where it was like you could hear the behind. As
soon as we talk about wrestling, all the viewership drops. It's like, oh, these guys are talking about this.
It's still 85 people in here.
It's just at 105.
When you hear whatever, I think they left soon as we started talking about the Lakers. That's basically wrestling.
Wow.
Hey, the Lakers is basically WWE at this point, dog. It's just about who LeBron gonna drop on his head. No, what I was gonna say. No, they got a clip where you hear them saying what they gonna like. What the next you dig it? It's a dance, bro. It's cold as heck. Seeing the behind the scenes of it has made me more entertained by it. I feel like they actually should do a stream where you can hear just what's in the ring, because it's literally just like off the bottom rope, do a backflip, land on top of me. I'm going down. Boop, flop, bam. And they do. It's like, fam, you just told him that in the middle of him throwing you one direction.
Yeah.
The reason
That's flawless execution.
Hey, and the crazy part is,
it's like I'm gonna be. It's a horrible analogy, but it really it's male ballet. When you look at when you look at how the dance it just because like you go from ballet to like beating somebody's face in, but like when you look at how like it all goes down and the dance of it, like it really is like a choreographed dance, but it's a lot of stuff. Pat McAfee was breaking it down. He was like, "There's a lot of stuff that happens on the spot." Pat McAfee didn't know that Vince McMahon was gonna get in the ring and fight him. He didn't know that they was going to double team him with the chair. He didn't know Stone Cold was coming out to stunner Vince McMahon. He didn't know none of that. So you really got to like understand the dance of it, like on the fly as it's happening. That's crazy, dog. When I started seeing like the fact that I will say to me, the thing that opened it up was the fact that they finally started being like, no, it's sports entertainment. Because remember when we was kids, they was like, prove to me that it's not real. And like somebody would get busted upside the head with a chair.
When we was younger, them dudes got hit. I don't care what nobody say.
Oh no, they got hit.
They
got hit, but it was, you know what I'm saying? Like you had stuff to compare it to. Like they would be like, hit me upside the head with a chair and I'm gonna jump back up. And I'd be like, yeah, but I seen Ray Ray on 35th get hit upside the head with a chair. He ain't jump back up. I'm assuming there's a difference there.
The part that ruined it for me when it came to wrestling is not the fact that I found out it was fake, because it was kind of clear, like who punches like this, right? It's when I found out they decide who the champion is going to be, as opposed to letting it play out.
Oh, but that's everything.
It's a soap opera.
You could tell, but you could tell that before you even go into the match.
It's a soap opera.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. When I was younger, I didn't know that. Like, I really believed Stone Cold was out here like getting done dirty, and he had to fight his way back to. Like, I really believed it. I was just naive. That was my era.
Listen.
I was naive.
Kid really thought Randy Orton killed Undertaker, and then he just came back, bro.
No, forget that.
No, I knew that.
Forget that.
Like honestly, I thought it was like a real wrestling match.
But they
I knew
a lot of stuff.
I knew some of the
side.
special stunts were fake. Like, you're not going to sit there and like, hit somebody repeatedly and stuff like that.
Hey, kill somebody, but keep wrestling. Hey, I will say, I remember being like, ain't nobody gonna get this man for murder. Like, he got a match next week. He's like, he just killed 3 people.
Have y'all ever gone to like a real wrestling match, like a real wrestling competition?
I've gone to like wrestling, like college wrestling.
Yeah. You ever gone to one of those? Yeah. So like when I saw Kurt Angle and stuff like that, I'm like, he's a real wrestler. Like, I thought at some point where there's some theatrics, no, you really got to get me down and pin me. Like, I really thought that. It was once I found out that, I think I was like 11, 12. I was like, oh, I can't watch this anymore. It just ruined it for me. I just couldn't do it.
I'm telling you, dog. You gotta watch it like a sitcom. You can't go into it thinking. You gotta think like legitimately like sports, and you gotta watch it like that Lakers documentary.
Hey, on God, wrestling ain't fake when you're the little kid getting thrown around the room because your older cousin want to try out a wrestling move.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, no, wrestling is real, dude. I don't care what you're saying.
Wrestling ain't fake at all when you real life doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, when them shoulders could really hurt, because he was like, God dad, your shoulders in my daggone Adam's apple. Like, no, dog. I ain't trying to hit that.
That's the thing, though.
When I tell you I stunned somebody in real life.
Of Raw. It was two episodes. I always like. It was one episode of Raw. Vince was like walking to the limo. That man got in, and that mug exploded. And I legit thought he died. That was the first one. Come on, dog. That was the first one. And the thing is, you couldn't tell us nothing. And then the other one, freaking, and he showed this clip all the time. It's the funniest clip. Damn, DX in the hallway. I forget what they was talking about.
When he just started kicking people?
Yeah.
You just made me kick Steve in the face.
What? Vince McMahon want to see aggression? Bet. What's her name?
Yeah, they said he wasn't aggressive enough to fight at WrestleMania or something like that. And that man just started kicking people walking down the hallway, bro. That's one of the greatest clips of all time. Man said, "What's your name, sir?" Steve. Pow! You just made me kick Steve in the face. Hey, bro. Hey, that mess had me dying, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
Now
like,
I gotta Google it.
Oh, bro, just go to YouTube.
no.
DX. Just go to YouTube and
No.
DX, bro. DX kicked in the face. Well, you're gonna find a lot of them clips.
Damn.
But nah, bro.
That mess was hilarious.
Hey, it's one of those things, bro. You legitimately have to watch it like it's a soap opera. You legit, like, I'm telling you, if you gonna get into it, it is doggone sports entertainment.
Hey.
And for me, I can't watch it from the soap opera aspect because I ain't gonna lie to you. Like the promos, all of that don't impress me. Like, we're gonna do this and make this happen. Yeah. The part that impressed me is how huge these mugs are and how athletic they are. Fam, imagine like an offensive lineman doing a backflip.
I would love to see The Rock in person.
It wasn't even that. Logan Paul yesterday, bro. That man had the we was talking about it yesterday. The three amigos.
Logan Paul was getting busy at that moment.
The three amigos and the frog splash.
Hey, bro. Hey, I will say, before we get up out of here, man. First, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. It's still 80-something people in here watching us talk about wrestling as we come to the end of the show, man. Bulls will play the Bucks tonight. We will be live for the live call on that. Make sure you tune in and rock with us on that as well, man. We'll also be live for the post game show. So
hey,
get in
Pat back if he could talk about it. Guess what?
Hey, listen. I love it, dog. He said, "What Phoenix say? I'm late hopping in here, but I came in on the good part. What's good, fellas? Hey, we finna get up out of here, but you did. Nah, hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now, though. Like watching how acrobatic these mugs are is ridiculously impressive, bro. It's like I was watching even just how long it lasts, bro. Like Stone Cold still got it.
I gotta go see it. I didn't want to see it because I thought it was gonna be bad. And I was like, I don't want to see my idol.
Hey, and look,
Stone Cold was out there.
Now
the worst part was when Vince McMahon was 77 years old trying to get stunnered and couldn't sell it at all. But he almost died in that mug. But like Stone Cold still out there, bro. I'm talking about moving. He's 60. How old is Stone Cold?
67.
He's in his 50s.
67.
Stone Cold ain't that old. 67?
I'm dead serious.
Stone Cold is 67 years old?
Get the heck out of here.
Is that fact?
He was talking about
57, dog.
Oh, 57. Dog, come on.
It's still a feat. Don't get me wrong.
Hey, listen. Yeah. We said that like doing that at 57 ain't crazy. But 67 would have been wild.
Hey, man. Vince hopped in the ring, though.
Bro, Vince is 76. Vince hopped in the ring still throwing mugs around, bro. Like, it's mind-blowing.
I will say, the most difficult move I saw the whole weekend, Seth Rollins, like, he went up to, like, the top turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And, like, I remember him doing this, but he had winded up tearing his ACL, like, a couple years back when he was getting this push. That man did a Phoenix. It wasn't like a Phoenix splash, but I think it was like a Phoenix slash like Falcon Arrow, like 1 foot off the top turnbuckle, like into like that, and just like landed square on dude.
Yeah. Hey,
so like
it was an impressive night, man.
Like it's so much that goes
I'll say this.
it.
Hey kid, we old now. Rey Mysterio's son is wrestling.
Get out of here.
Hey,
remember the little kid used to run in the ring?
He's good.
Oh wow.
Good. Hey, got all his dad moves.
I'm impressed.
Hey man, we gonna get up out of here, man. We'll be back for the Bulls live call tonight. Well, I'm also have some Bears content dropping on the channel today. Be in tune with that. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the man formerly known as Ringo J, Mr. Stefan Adon. Of course, the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. Ayo, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.